Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at my Simpit PC. So this is connected to my Simpit. It runs DCS World, and I really don't use it for anything else, so it's pretty much dedicated to my Simpit. I saw this Hyte Y60 case a while back, and as soon as I saw it, it just was kind of screaming themed build for me. So I wanted to do kind of a tribute to VFA-14, the Tophatters. They are the oldest active Navy squadron. And my online group, it's also the squadron that we use for our liveries and kind of represent in the virtual world. So I took most of the components from my old system and moved them into this case. There are a few new pieces, so we'll kind of start with the specs here. So right off the bat, front and center, we've got the MSI Suprim Liquid-X 4090. It is the all-in-one water-cooled version. The 4090 air-cooled cards are just, put the fans too close to the glass on this case for me. So this really was the only choice for a video card. We've got the same processor from the old rig. It's a 5900X AMD. We've got 64 gigs of G.Skill Trident Z Neo. I think it's 3600 megahertz RAM. Got a 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD that runs Windows. Then I've got a second NVMe 1 terabyte that's running DCS. And then we've got a spinning drive, 2 terabyte, just kind of a data storage drive in there. For the CPU cooler, we've got the ASUS Ryujin 2 all-in-one. I think it's a 360 millimeter. And then all that's connected to the ASUS ROG Crosshair 8 Hero motherboard. Then for fans, we've got the Corsair QL 120s all the way around. And then the floor of the case, I do have a couple of BeQuiet 140 millimeter Silent Wings 4 for cooling. We've got a CableMod custom length cable set in kind of Tophatters colors, red and white. And I'm also using the CableMod 180 degree adapter for the 12 volt high power. And then all that runs back to a Thermaltake Toughpower GF3 1200 watt power supply. Cable management in this case is super easy. Lots of room to hide cables and plenty of tie down points to make everything look nice and neat in the back. Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. So for the bottom of the case, I knew I wanted to kind of make it look like a carrier flight deck. So kind of masked off the case, used my airbrush and some kind of tips and tricks that I've used building scale models. Created some masks with a vinyl cutter and was able to get the bottom to look roughly like a carrier flight deck, specifically the Catapult 3 area. So the diecast models, we've got 3 F-18 Hornets, we've got a 200, the Cagbird, 201, and 206, and those are 1/200th scale. So I kind of used that reference to create the mass and make sure the flight deck kind of roughly was on that same scale. The Jet Blast Deflector is a little 3D printed design I made up and painted just to kind of give it a little bit more realism. And I was also able to find some pre-painted 1/200 scale flight deck crew and some tugs that are on the ship, some little tractors that move the jets around on the flight deck. And the deck crew are so small, there was no way I was going to be able to get them in place, so I laser cut some little thin acrylic panels and glued them to them just to make sure they would stay in place. So once I got the PC built, I really kind of realized I had a few too many little items to go in that area. I thought I'd have more room. The graphics card and then the radiator for the graphics card really took up more space than I wanted to. So they were kind of crammed in there just a little bit, but I think it turned out looking pretty good. And the other thing I wanted to do was do some etching on the glass. So on the end panel there, we've got the VFA-14 Tophatters logo. So kind of same technique there. I used my vinyl cutter to make a mask and then used some chemical etching compound to get that design to transfer over to the glass. And then I kind of did the same thing, put the VFA-14 logo up on the top left of the side panel. So this was my first attempt at a themed PC build. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. PC runs great, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're looking for an online group to fly, come check us out at vcsg3.com. We've got Tomcat, Hornet, and Harrier squadrons, and we're always looking for new people to fly with.